As you can see, we're literally sitting right in front of this. This is, I can't even say this is a deep freezer. This is more than a deep freezer. We could put a truck in here if the door was bigger. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm here with Tom. You might know Tom from Mermaids Cove. He is the pioneer for the food that you're seeing out there in a lot of your local fish stores. Hey Tom, how are you?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. So today we're just gonna go over the main food that everyone is raving about. You might have seen it on Reef Builders. They had a article about his food. I believe it is the all-in-one.
Yes.
All-in-one. Yeah. I actually use the all-in-one as well, and let me tell you, that does wonder for your tank. I realized that even some of my more aggressive fish, they'll kind of be a little bit more tame when it comes to eating, just because there's so much variety in there. So a lot of, even some of the pickier eaters, they won't be threatened or pressured to eat because there's just so much. They could go ahead and just pick out what they want. But today I have a few questions for Tom just to see what's the history on the product, what started it, where we are with it, and where we're going to be going with it. So, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So first, I want to know a little bit about you.
Yeah.
What is your background in the marine industry?
So I actually interned and volunteered up at the Shad Aquarium. I was there for 4 years. I carry a bachelor's degree in zoology, a minor in chemistry and business. I've had a fish store for 15 years, 20 plus in the hobby. I still enjoy it as a hobbyist. I enjoy the challenges that come with it. Like, we've got basket starfish. We've been keeping them for 3 years just off of the food.
Wow.
So it's one of those, it's like, okay, we got something good going if we're able to keep things that are that challenging.
Yeah. Yep. And so you said you interned at the Shad Aquarium?
Yeah.
How long?
It was a 6-month intern, 3.5 years doing volunteer and working behind the scenes.
Okay. How was that?
It was fun. It's a lot bigger than what you really think.
Yeah.
And holidays are absolutely the best. So if you're actually there,
yeah,
go there for the holidays. It is quiet. It's peaceful.
Yeah.
Because as a major zoo or aquarium, they are open 365 days a year.
Oh.
So New Year's, you're looking for something to do, go to the aquarium, go to the zoo, and it's really, really, you can enjoy, you can get up front, you're not being rushed through.
Yeah. There's a few corals there that have been given or donated by hobbyists,
Yes.
including Remy.
Yes.
And so, if you guys know Bahama LV, now at Reef Builders, he had, I believe it was a toadstool.
Yeah, I forgot what it was, but I saw the quick post
Yeah.
through their page.
Yeah, I believe it was a weeping willow. And so if you're there, take a look and see if you could spot it. It's in one of the tanks. I don't remember exactly where, but I remember seeing it a few times here on the
If I had to guess, it would be in with that the Giga clam.
Probably.
They've got that big reef display where the Giga sits right in the middle.
Yeah, probably. For the food, is it just you or
It's
other
me.
people involved?
It's the old man.
Yeah.
And you met the old man.
Yeah.
So he is actually owner, CFO. I'm just the face.
Okay.
I'm the face. I'm the guy that, but he's owner. And then actually my kid helps actually do the packing. So
That's
he'll
nice.
come in for orders and he'll get his little shopping list and he'll go back and forth and pull the orders.
That's nice. It's a whole family business.
The girlfriend and her daughter does the cubes.
Oh, nice.
So that's actually her whole packing project.
Oh yeah.
So.
Nice, nice. Are you talking the little cubes, like the one with the numbers on the back?
Yep, the little blisters.
Yeah, those. I'm gonna get into it, but those I love for if I'm going on vacation because
It makes life so easy.
Yep, someone who doesn't know about the tank, nothing about the hobby, you could just tell them 1 or 2 of these a day. You don't have to worry about them overfeeding or underfeeding anything. Why did you decide to create this type of product? Was there a need for it?
Yes, actually, we had a guy that originally was making our food. His name was Ron. His product was limpets. He was based up in Wisconsin. He was much smaller, about 4 or 5 stores, and we were one of those 5 stores.
Okay.
He decided he's like, I'm not into it anymore. His tank ended up cracking, and he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Here's what I have left of product. After that, not sure what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And we just sat down and we looked at some of the other options, and I just wasn't very happy with it. I felt they were oily, a little high on price, because I was used to what he was giving me.
Yeah.
And he was always big on the 10-ounce pack, which I think that's a great thing. We're one of the biggest packs out there for a blended food. I mean, we're 3 to 4 ounces over everybody else.
Okay.
So he retired, and my old man came up and went, "What are you going to do?" I'm like, "Well, I've got recipes. I know what needs to be done. Let's see what we can get in bulk, and start production."
Okay. So did you tweak his recipe?
Yes. Actually, I liked his blend that he had, but I didn't like the sizing, and I really wasn't a big fan that there was a lot of things that were missing, but they're also, I mean, they're pretty expensive things. When we have to buy some of it, the price per pound is really up there. I mean, we start talking about roe, you start talking about cyclopses, price per pound starts really adding up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it was ones I felt needed to be in the food.
Yeah. And so you kind of mentioned about like the size of the product, but what do you think really makes your product stand out versus the competitors?
Price point. When I'm usually talking to new stores, I have to go in and explain price per ounce, because most people assume that all packaging is the same size.
Yeah.
I had one guy actually store, and he sat there and he's like, "I'm in my store. I'm sure it's a pound." Walked over, he's like, it's half a pound. It's not even. I'm like, that's what I thought. Most people just have the perception that, well, when you're getting krill in a 1 pound pack, that you're also getting our stuff in a 1 pound pack, that all product is the same throughout.
Yeah.
So when we start doing that, we come out at about $2.50 an ounce.
Yeah.
I mean, most other competitors are about $3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the big gateway for us getting into a lot of these wholesalers and a lot of these other stores.
And as you were saying also about like just getting a lot of stuff in bulk, how sustainable is it for your food? Like, is it where you are able to get the raw materials very easily?
Yeah, I mean, we just line up shipping. I mean, we've got enough storage space with the walk-in freezer. Yeah, it's 144 square feet. It's 56 regular 21 cubic foot freezers would fit in there.
Nice.
So we've got pallet racks in there just full of raw product to work with.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we've got 30 different items in our food, I understand sourcing, but we're actually going ahead of our own schedule. We like to make sure that we have it just in case something happens. Yeah. Because you never know what could happen.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of stuff. Today it's good, tomorrow you can't get it. So that's always something. Even for me, before discovering your food, what I used to do, I used to actually go to the grocery store and I would buy like clams and shrimps and all of that, and I would actually just blend them up and throw them in the tank, and my fish love that. But then also you're exposing your tank to a lot of different things that you don't know.
Well, there's a lot of parasites that now show up too that we're starting to be able to test. Vibrio, that was a big one. We actually had Tia Davis down in Tennessee. We ran into her at Reef Stock. She took some of ours and she did Vibrio tests for us, and we came back clean.
That's good.
Was it, you test up to like 72 hours?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we were one of, there were 7 places that passed out of 30 tests that they ran.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, okay, that, because she was worried. She's like, you're a little mom and pop place. I'm like, we are, but I'm like, I've also been in the food industry before. So if you carry those standards with, it really helps pass that along too.
Yeah. Also, is there any strict like guidelines that you have for feeding, or being the way that you created, it's almost a fail-proof? Or
well, you can always overfeed. That's always the hard part. I have a lot of people that I've heard people go, oh, well, I fed what I usually feed for the another food. Well, there's so much little stuff in there, it can really rack up pretty quick. So I've got some people, they feed it while it's still in a frozen state. I have some people unthaw it, use a pipette to feed it. It kind of depends what your application is.
What I like to do with mine, actually, so I use the tank water, thaw it out a little bit, then I turn off flow. Well, I turn off the return pump, so flow is still on. And then I just put it like directly above my MP40.
Oh, and it starts doing
and it just swoops it in and broadcasts it throughout. And normally what I'll notice is the first 2 corals that go crazy want a torch. you'll see a lot of like, just a lot of the particles just get stuck to them, and they just start pulling them in. And a lot of my SPS, you'll see those even like feeder tentacles coming out, and I love to see it. It's just like all over, just going very crazy. So when I see that, it makes me think, okay, my food is actually having some type of feeding response for my corals, and they enjoy it because they're eating it up. Within 2 minutes, on my tank, I have it set up where my feed mode is 7 minutes, but after 2 minutes, it's all cleared. Like everything is eaten up, and all the fish are happy. So that for me, just see that, that's something I enjoy. So I'll sit there and just watch them eat.
I was going to say, anybody feeding bigger fish, I say do it frozen. Let the big guys get in there and they can actually have something to rip at.
Yeah.
But the little parts, all the little guys are just, they start swarming.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to try that now and see how my bigger fish do. Because, yeah, they'll go ahead and go after some of the bigger pieces as well, and then the little ones will come around and just kind of grab what's left. But I'm going to try that, what you just mentioned, and see how they react. This next question is kind of, I wouldn't say redundant, but I've had people ask this. So, is your food more focused to fish or coral?
Ooh, we have another line that's more towards bigger fish, which is going to be the chunky.
Okay.
That's going to have much bigger, thicker pieces.
Yeah.
Not so much the finer stuff,
Right.
which, I mean, that's going to be like your phytoplankton. You're going to have the rotifers, the cyclopses, all of that stuff. Your big guys aren't going to care about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But overall, I mean, I use it, if you got a mixed reef, it's a great food. Doesn't matter if it's big fish, little fish.
Yeah.
I've got a 300 gallon for one of my clients, and we throw it in just 1 by 1 cubes, and they've got an 18-inch Deucimiri.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it works for kind of everybody.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, I didn't apply it just to one. I mean, I had one store when they were testing, they were feeding their cat shark, our regular all-in-one.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not even the thought process of my application, but I'm glad it works.
Yeah. We kind of touched on it, but was there anything specific that you thought of as to why you packaged the food in the way you do? I know you have the flat packs.
Yes. So we started with the slabs just because we were able to do one. We're looking at price point. Well, if it costs more for more stuff, then it's more that we have to add into the food.
Yeah.
So all of our bags are 1 pound or 10 ounces, but they're all the same size bag.
Yeah.
Well, our stickers are also all the same size, so it's very nice and universal, and it moves through.
Yeah.
But I wanted to at least give people something worth what they're buying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go and spend $25 on food, you at least want to get something. I mean, I do the Sam's thing. If I can buy it in bulk, that makes me a lot happier, especially if I know I'm saving on it.
Yeah, that's good. So, in this world of the internet where things are so easily accessible, people could find you as free will, really. Have you had any customer feedback that you really stood back, looked at it, and changed anything with the food?
A little. I've adjusted some of our process. It's all still the same percent and blends and everything, but I stepped back on, well, we use a different machine. We don't use a grinder, so I've adjusted what we use to give a little bit more of a whole piece of like brine mysis. We used to process it down a little bit more, so now it's got a little bit more, I guess, the original look.
Yeah. And so, you're in how many different stores?
80.
Over 80?
80 stores.
80 stores now?
80 stores, 6 wholesalers.
Okay. And so a lot of people, could they buy this online as well? Say they're not close to a store?
We try working with people the best that we can. If there's a club, they want to do a group buy, we've got price points for that.
Okay.
We work with basement vendors. We work with stores. I like to get the people in the store.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best for everybody to walk in the store, especially, hey, if you're a basement guy, we'll work something with you and the store to make sure that we facilitate the whole process.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're trying to get in with a couple of some of the more known frozen food shippers.
Okay.
Shipping is the most expensive part. I mean, it's dry ice, and then it's got to be overnight or 2-day. Because we did Tank Talk, and with that we were shipping 5 lots. sometimes, I mean, the shipping was costing more than the food.
Yeah.
And sadly, there's just, I mean, we can only do so much.
Yeah, yeah. From your lineup, how many actual like different packaged food products do you
There's
have?
5 different foods, right?
Okay.
5? 5.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the AIO is the only one that's actually in the cube form.
Okay, okay. So, any future plans for that you're willing to share?
I'm trying to keep my ears open to see
Yeah.
what people are looking for, because
Yeah.
we've got the raw goods.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, well, do I want to start making 2-ounce packs of cyclopses and eggs?
Yeah.
Because now the hard part is getting into a store. When you've got more product lines, now they have to have more open freezer space.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, here's my main 2. Do these, you like them, then pick up the other ones.
Okay.
So that's kind of where my focus is I want to get my foot in the door with all of these people, because freezer space is hard to come by.
Yeah.
I mean, most of your freezers, they're only so big, there's only so much space, and for something to open up to at least slide one product line in, sometimes gets to become a real challenge, and which has been one of our biggest things.
Yeah. So, do you have a website that people could go on and look to see what's the closest store to them
Yes.
that they could purchase?
Yes,
Yes.
mermaidsdelightfood.com.
If it is that you'd like to see, if you're not already trying their food, go ahead, check out their website. You'll be able to see some of those stores that are closer to you so that you could actually try some of their food. Again, you could also look at Reef Builder's article where they did a quick overview of what were some of the results from using the food. I personally use the food as well. I was introduced to the food at a coral swap where they were actually giving it as samples. My fish love it. Literally, I went home and I took one of the packets and melted it out. I used my hand because they were already out for a little
But
bit.
does it smell bad?
No, it doesn't.
That's what, like, it's
literally
pretty
just-
fresh food.
And then just in the tank, and all the fish went crazy. So it's something I love about it. As you can see, we're literally sitting right in front of this. This is, I can't even say this
big
is a
freezer.
deep freezer. This is more than a deep freezer. We could put a truck in here if the door was bigger. And this is where a lot of the food is stored before it's shipped off to you guys. And as you can see, it's not a little freezer in someone's basement. This is a full-on operation that he has right here. But thank you, Tom, for sharing with everyone what you do and why it stands out so much in the ever-changing industry. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Till next time, keep reefing.